Before we get started, I'd like to say rest in peace to ODB and how he relevant to the video. Well, he was bragging about being woke and using the system at the same time, which is two things you can't be. You can't be an independent individual and being a part of this matrix at the same time, where in a way you using it as assistance. Them two things don't go together. Anyway, let's get into it.
We just wanted to live. They told us to counting up something. Seems the only way you can live.
So, I'm gonna catch flack for this, but this is something that need to be talked about. People on assistance are agents. And what am I talking about when I say people on assistance are agents? They not necessarily, working for the government. They not necessarily aware of what they doing, but you gotta ask yourself this: how can people, who live reckless or make mistakes in life, how can they get free housing and shit? You know what I'm saying? For being a retard. Free housing for having too many kids. Free housing for being neglectful with their life. But then you can compare those to other people out here who don't live reckless like that. And then, they go to these government agencies. They try to get some help to help themselves and get denied and say, oh, you don't qualify. I know I'm gonna have a whole bunch of haters trying to bash me and shit, and try to expose me and come at me and go in on me. But, this is something I gotta be talked about. You really gotta pin this shit together. Why does this world owe you anything? And why would you be able to even have programs out here when this is a working world? You gotta work to add to the society to keep it moving, supposedly, right? But we all know this matrix is a lie. So everything that you think is one way is really another. So how is, people that, get this subsidized housing shit, how are they agents of the matrix? Well, when you're born on the citizen level, you get your social number, you get your birth certificate and shit, and then you're enrolled into the matrix. Now, we already talked about this in previous videos, how, the watchers, they already know your soul. So they already have you, down packed if you got a matrix-based soul or if you have an independent soul, that's locked into the Most High. When you got a soul that's locked into the Most High, 9 times out of 10, you're not about to be getting no assistance out here. And a lot of people be like, I'm making shit up or I'm just running my mouth. But you gotta ask yourself, people who know they not organic produce and shit listening to this, tears or whatever. Why would the government even look out for you in the first place? How can you even get on that shit? You see what I'm saying? I know that sounds like a dumbass question. If you really think about the levels of that question, how can you even get on that shit? And why would they give it to you? If in no kind of way at all, you don't play a part in this matrix. You see what I'm saying? So this matrix only promotes those who are down with it in one way or another. See what I'm saying? So let's throw some examples out there. People who be on assistance, they don't understand the woes and the struggles of people who never be on it, unable to get it. You know, the people who have to actually work for a living and they don't get to lean on anything. You know, these people are always being called bums by the ones who are on assistance. But the ones who are on assistance are fucking leaning on motherfuckers. You get what I'm saying? In the same way that they try to say the people who actually lean on other folks is doing. But they leaning on invisible people. You get what I'm saying? Invisible people called the government system. And they do irritating shit when they interact with other folks like organic portals do. Like if you have to try to build with them, community stuff don't work out. You can't even try to live with them in any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? They'll act like, I don't know, like they never been out here in the world before and know what it's like to struggle. But they'll have all kinds of demands on you. And then y'all fall the fuck out. See, basically, you know what I'm saying? The Matrix only promotes its own kind. And it's a lot of people that's going to, you know, like I said, try to chew me and shit. But it is what it is. Come for me, motherfucker. This shit's real talk. If you could get on assistance, use an agent. Flat the fuck out. Period. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, people like this Terry Crews dude, even though he's a part of Hollywood, he full of shit. Like the rest of these motherfucking organic portal type motherfuckers and terrorists and stuff. He's coming out saying, when you tell the truth, you get blacklisted and shit. You get blocked. And for you stupid motherfuckers that don't know what blacklisted is, that's what targeted individuals basically are.
I've been a Section 8 landlord for 25 years, and I've probably rented out over 2,000 properties in my lifetime. I would always wonder when a mother would, say a 45-year-old mother would rent a property from me, and the minute she got done renting my property, she'd turn around and say, "Hey Mike, do you have any more properties for rent? Because my two daughters are also on Section 8, and they're looking for a new house," okay? Right then I figured out this can't be the luck of the draw that the mother has a voucher, the two daughters have a voucher, and everybody she knows has a voucher, okay? You and I both know how hard it is to receive Section 8 assistance, and you can't get it, yet here's a whole family full of people that have a voucher. So what I simply started doing, I probably asked about 600 of my tenants, how did you get a voucher? How did you receive your Section 8 assistance? And you'd be really surprised at a lot of their answers.
The real answer is they promote the Matrix in one way or another and are recognized as agents. But we'll go ahead and see what this dude got to say.
Okay? I'd say 98% of my tenants did not receive a voucher the correct or legal way, okay? Which is, everybody knows the legal way. You reapply year after year, you get stuck on a waiting list. You call down Section 8 55 times a year to see if your number moved up, down, or sideways, and you sit there waiting for the help you need to arrive, if it even arrives at all. Well, the legal way does not work, okay? I'd say 98% of the tenants that I asked, they came up with a, if you want to say a cockamamie, crazy way to get on Section 8. Whatever they did worked, because if they were renting my property, which I only rent the Section 8, and they had a Section 8 voucher, whatever loophole or whatever angle they figured out, it worked for them. And what I did, I went ahead and I wrote a book on all my tenants' ways of getting on Section 8, okay?
They are people who, for no reason, don't have a bad record, don't have a lot of shit holding them back, but find it hard to get a job. And when they get one, they get the shit jobs, the bottom of the barrel. And then it's hard for them to keep jobs. And also, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody allowing them in the government system to get like on any kind of assistance in any kind of way. except for maybe like the free healthcare that's going out. But you know what I'm saying? Only reason why a targeted individual would have that, because it's mandatory to have it. The government saying everybody must have it. So that don't count for real. But we talking about this housing shit. Like, when you look at it, you know what I'm saying, it ties into the wheat and the tares. You know, it ties into the wheat and the tares in a way where, you know what I'm saying, the wheats is running around homeless. And, you know, they have to go to shelters. And, you know, when they go into a shelter, the shelter ain't gonna do nothing but give them a hard time. Won't let them get no sleep. You know, I was talking to my man Blue Jay Rising, you know, months back ago about this subject. And you know what I'm saying? Unless you like a tariff something, organic port, or, you know, what I'm saying is an agent and shit, you don't belong in that shelter. It's really basically a crazy house, or, you know, the first step to the mental facility. It's like the pre-screening place for the mental facility. Like, you know, it's really a front. You know what I'm saying? They want you to get in there so they can rewire you if you were weak. But if you a terror, organic portal, or an agent, you right at home. They just gonna set you up for the steps that it take to get you your housing. But the whole thing is, how is there even any people out here who's fucking retarded as hell who need free housing? Like, I know we got family members and friends out here who's leaning on that shit, but, you know, in the real world, how come they couldn't just get deleted up out of here because they fell by the wayside? You know, they fell by the wayside, but these motherfuckers out here who, you know what I'm saying, build tents, living in boxes and making their way out here, those are the real motherfuckers at the end of the day. They showing the rest of us how this motherfucking system ain't working, how it's a failure itself. But the ones who are on the assistance, they saying, hey, you know, you can lean on it if you're part of the bloodline. You can lean on it if you're part of the soul group, the matrix-based soul group. Because you think that this motherfucking matrix don't already have you categorized when you born. It already know that you are going to do the work for it. So let's say, you know what I'm saying, you got two people hanging out and they both down bad. Neither one of them got a job. They out here in the streets and they homeless. You know, the agent doesn't know it's an agent. All it knows is I'm about to go in this shelter, and then it knows how to play the game. Like, it's either going to take the crazy route, the social security route, the disabled route, some kind of route. Now, first of all, why the fuck you even got to take a route? Your ass fucked up out here, you should just be able to get housing. But they not going to give you that because they need to rewire who you are and able to give you some kind of assistance. Because you can't have money in your pocket and you can't have money in your pocket and have sanity at the same time. Those two things do not mix. It's like oil and water. It makes the matrix fall apart if you got sanity and money at the same time. It's like freeing the people, like what Moses did. Because, you know, people with sanity, they understand all levels of how things work. So, you know, if they got any type of resources, money, then that's way too much power for one motherfucking person to have, because they're going to be doing things that these agents ain't going to do. See, when these agents get on their little assistants and shit, they throw their arm up and say, mine, I'm not helping nobody out. Fuck you, fuck the world. But when a motherfucker is a normal person with their sanity, then that throws them in the category of being a weak. And those type of people, when they see people fucked up, you know what I'm saying, they try to not really help them, but put them in a predicament where they can help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I give you $1, that's cool, but what if I can give you a system to help you help yourself. So you can always give yourself $1. You ever heard of that saying? If you give somebody a fish, you feed them for a day. But if you teach somebody to fish, they'll be able to fish for a lifetime. None of these agents on assistance will give you any type of system where you can feed yourself for a lifetime. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I ran into some people out here who's, 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door. And, you know what I'm saying? They half and half with it. Now, I'm going to make this real clear and make this a disclaimer. In no way, in fucking hell, am I goddamn hating on nobody. I ain't hating. I'm just throwing this shit out there for the motherfuckers who ain't never been on any kind of assistance. And they out here like, damn, this shit fucked up out here, yo. I really can't make it. Because, like, real talk, like, some people really just getting blacklisted from a lot of things out here. So you see them digging in the trash. They a trash digger. You see them hopping from house to house. So they a house hopper. You know what I'm saying? They jump from woman to woman or man to man. Or you see them doing all this frivolous activity. It's because, you know what I'm saying, the Matrix is trying to expose them as being something like that when it's really just blacklisting them. You see what I'm saying? If you gave everybody the same opportunities to start at the goal line, everybody would end up, finishing the race at the end at the same time at the finish line. See, this shit right here, this assistance stuff, you know what I'm saying, is saving, those who DNA, who's genetic, who's, a part of this motherfucking Matrix in some kind of way, tied into it, promotes it, pushes it, and throws the agenda out there, Because people that pretended to be cool with me, they turned out to be motherfuckers who was just dead in the inside anyway. They act like they had feelings and they was cool. But at the end of the day, like, when you're around real people, they don't give up on you and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they don't do things to you that they wouldn't want done to them. Like, they don't get it. Like, they lean on the system. But if you try to lean on their ass, then they be like, what the fuck is you doing? But then they don't never think about being blacklisted and unable to really help yourself. And that you really living like a refugee on the run, even though you're not really running from nobody per se. You just running from how the Matrix is trying to close you in and shit. Because you really, normally, if this system was just a normal system we was living in, all you gotta do is just get a job. You know what I'm saying? Save your money, buy a house, and just live. But it's all kinds of bullshit out here stopping you from just living. You got these taxes, you got laws, rules, you know what I'm saying? And then you just get blacklisted and blocked. Like, I'm not going to get into a lot of details about this shit, but motherfuckers who's real out here, they really know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? People that's on assistance is agents, man. Like, they pretty much waste resources, don't give a fuck about thinking about how the world really works because they don't got to. They just lean in and shit like that. And the Matrix tells them to call people bums and say that they're leeches and all this shit. But the government is holding them up. The Matrix is holding them up so they can talk to you like that. But if the Matrix drop their ass, they'll be a regular old piece of shit street bum like they trying to say, you are people who can't get on assistance. Basically, at the end of the day, the conclusion of this shit is it's a fucking war out here between people who can get on assistance and people who can't. And the people who can get on assistance, the Matrix really trying to say, like, these motherfuckers are my agents. Whether they sleeper agents, whether they awake and they aware and they know what they doing, they are my agents. And they promote my Matrix for me. That's basically what the Matrix is saying about these folks. And they could confuse you because they'll have your back, they'll feed you, they'll hold you down. But then They're trying to indoctrinate you with some bullshit while they helping you to try to rewire who you are. And if you never get rewired or you don't let them change your wiring and how you think and the things you're willing to accept, then some kind of switch clicks off in them. And then they stop being willing to help you and be fake and pretend to keep on helping you because they organic portals and shit. Real people can't give up on you. And if they say they love you and stuff, that shit ain't gonna never die. But these motherfuckers can just go to the next person. Just like that. Just at the drop of a hat. Feel me? And I just wanted to, talk about how motherfuckers on assistance is agents, man. Flat out. So when you see people not being able to stick together, can't get along, the community can't go forward, just look at everybody who's on some shit. And if you see elderly people, on assistance, it's the same thing with them. But, like I would say like 2% of them is allowed to get on it because, the government just looking out for them so they can get them up out of here without it looking crazy. Because imagine if, all the wheat elderly couldn't get on assistance. Then it'd just be plain clear as day, like they just get rid of old folks and shit that they don't want and put them out their misery and shit, use them for like organs or whatever they want to do. And that will probably scare the younger generations coming up. So, everything got to have a disguise to it and not look like what it really is, Because at the end of the day, if you could control your own, let's say, matrix, or you can control your own life, and you had the power to do that in some kind of way, you wouldn't even answer to this shit. You just do you and what you want to do, And, I ain't trying to stir up nothing, but this shit got to be said, man. The people on assistance say the dumbest shit, man. You know what I mean? They're not out here. So their priorities is stupid. They thinking about getting a new pair of shoes. You worried about where you gonna eat, what you gonna eat, how you gonna eat, where you gonna get some money at to eat. Like that's swirling around in your goddamn head. They worried about how long they gonna sleep in the bed today. If they feel like going to work. See what I'm saying? Now, if you're a real motherfucker with a soul, you understand what I'm trying to talk about here. But if you don't, all you hear is blah, 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 blah. Because you're an agent, you a portal, you a fucking terror or whatever the fuck. This shit out here. You know what I mean? And y'all motherfuckers could say I'm hating all y'all want to, but get off your assistance and live like a real motherfucker. They got to keep on working. And they don't got shit to lean on but yourself and your work. Then come holla at me. If you can't do that, then, don't come talking shit. You know what you is and what you are. Straight up. Because you ain't going to find no real TIs talking to individuals that's even able to get accepted by assistance. And you're not going to find none that can just go from job to job to job, let alone good jobs or high paying ones. It's always some bullshit because this matrix is really trying to, if you a wheat or you got a soul, trying to squeeze all your soul energy up out of you before it kill your motherfucking ass. And these agents act like they don't get that shit. They just think, they try to hit you with the bullshit of, just keep on trying. You can go do it over there. You know what I'm saying? I had to make my way up from the mud. These motherfuckers ain't making their way up from no goddamn mud. Bitch, you leaning on a system. And then you talking shit to other motherfuckers who ain't leaning on a system. If you're not leaning on a system and you make it, you's a strong motherfucker for real. And that's real talk. Because at the end of the day, this shit ain't nothing but some bullshit. It's not really real, but we living it out and we playing the game, right? And that's just how I go. So yeah, This motherfucking video right here was about agents and the ones who are on assistance. You know what I'm saying? Assistants, agents. Straight up. If you on that shit, you promoting the matrix in some kind of way. You promoting the bullshit, and you learn all this stuff that keeps this world a fucked up place going on. Even if you refuse to see it that way and you believe you not, you are. You pushing the agenda and keeping it going by being a weak motherfucker and not getting out here and just, you know what I'm saying, working. Because y'all too scared to do that shit. Plus, you know, if you want that shit in some kind of way, to make sure saying it's protecting you so you can promote its bullshit. Because, you know, if this world owes you nothing, then how y'all motherfuckers on that shit? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I might drop another one about this subject, but hopefully, you know what I'm saying, I ran through everything that makes sense about this subject. A lot of people ain't gonna get it. Because a lot of people are these people that I'm talking about. Shit gonna go over their motherfucking head. All right, y'all know how I do. Peace.